How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Speaking of Stadia, episode 27, I believe. Wow, it's 27 already.
Yeah.
I am Jacob Porter. With me, as always, now is our lovely. I should be pointing that way now. Fiona.
Usually it's down here. Yeah,
I know.
no,
I'm used
it's
to pointing
okay.
down, so it's weird. And then we have our guest today is Nick from Quit the Build. How you doing, Nick?
Very happy to be here. Thanks. Yeah.
How's everything going with you guys? How's your well, it's been a while since 4th of July, I guess I can forget what day it is anymore. But how was your weekend?
Everything's good.
All the weather?
Weather's been hit or miss, man. This summer, I tell you.
Yeah, Fiona, have you been dealing with all the weather we've been dealing with on the lower East Coast?
Yes, plus the terrible humidity, which has been like you know what? I don't have curly hair, but God forbid my hair just acts as though it's curly. It's just like, so it's not been great.
So I wanted to share with you guys. I think all the nerds in the chat we're all nerds here. I will enjoy the can art for my beard today. They went for the Pokemon card theme since all the rage. Oh, nice. So this is Pterodactyl, a Pterodactyl, and then they have some Chronosaur, which was really cool. I think they like really nailed the artwork for this. Is from a local brewery that my buddy brought me from their anniversary. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's what I'll be drinking today. It's a barrel aged imperial stout. So I'm pretty excited. Every season, stout season, everyone. Just so you know. But yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. I know we only have Nick for a portion of this episode if we go long. So I want to get moving on to what we all been playing. Nick, since you are the guest and we don't hear from you enough, what have you been playing recently? Stadia or otherwise? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we get to talk about anything.
Well, on the Stadia side, I have been really getting into Avengers again. I beat the story when it first came out, the first go around, and then kind of fizzled out in the multiplayer. But yeah, lately I've been hopping back in, kind of doing the end game. It's repetitive, but the combat is really satisfying. Of course, now they're releasing all of the MCU costumes, right? Black Widow just came out, so they released her costume from that. So there's all sorts of tie-ins, that kind of thing, and I'm all about it. So that's been most of my gaming time. A little bit of retro gaming here and there, but
So yeah. For Avengers, have you been playing mostly like the new content they've been putting on? I know they've added like Kate and everything like that. Like, have you gone back and finished all the new story that they've added? I'm not sure how much of that's actually story or just like online missions based around them. So
right, they each get their own like little like kind of story chapter that you can go into.
Okay.
That I have not, because they're playable from the start. You get access to them right away, but once I'm finished with my current character, I'll probably hop over and check.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
gotta grind those characters.
Oh, it's a grind, big time.
Yeah, and they made it even harder. So because that's what everyone wants. Everyone wants more grinding. That's why we love RPGs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I know. As Fiona can talk about her Final Fantasy 14 time without Aaron and I, as she. Yeah. How is Final Fantasy 14, Fiona?
It's been going really well. I keep on telling you guys we're on Adamantoys. If you want to come play with me and a bunch of other people from Points in Progress and just the community, it has been absolutely crazy. I went from not wanting to play and being adamant that I was never going back to an MMORPG to buying the collector's edition of
I'm never playing MMOs. I'm buying everything I can.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I bought the collector's edition of Endwalker last night. But yeah, I am currently all in. I am playing a paladin. What a nerd. Yeah, absolutely I am. Yeah.
I'll bring that one up.
Yeah, thank you, Victor.
Thanks, Victor.
I am just playing. I've been having a lot of fun. I'm currently playing, as I said, a paladin. Currently one of the tallest characters in the game, which is like she's
very fitting.
Yeah, 7 feet tall. So Lulfells can leave me alone.
Whoa! What do you got against Lulfells? Now we got beef.
Do we have beef?
I call him Taro because I grew up with Final Fantasy 11.
Oh,
but
okay.
I played a scholar. A
Okay.
Lalafell scholar. He's so cute. And he can jump so high.
Oh my goodness. It's just, we have a Lalafell in my free company who just runs around and chases me because I'm just like, you look like children, but apparently they're not children. And I'm like, they're little toddlers. And he's just like, let me help you. And I'm like, leave me alone. And then I'm like running around and they're just like,
I'm here for.
Yeah,
it's a lot. So we've just been playing that a shoot ton.
You can curse on this show.
I know, but I like.
I don't need to put the. I won't put the explicit tag on just for that.
Oh my god! Apparently, oh god. So yeah, Lolfells. But either way, it's been a lot of fun. If you guys ever want to play, we're on Anime Toys.
We got some. Yeah, yes, they'll be channeling them tonight at the tournament. Is it?
Are
you playing tonight?
I am playing tonight after we record.
Yeah, I think I actually watched you play after we recorded last time. So
yeah,
no, after last time. No, I was working late and watched you record.
Yeah, and then you
called you out on Twitter, and then as I do.
Yeah, and then you joined the Twitch stream, and then called me out on it as well. But yeah, no, I didn't think I would enjoy an MMORPG, and with all the current like controversy between WoW and Final Fantasy 14, and as a avid WoW player for 5 years, it's definitely been very interesting going from a game that I spend so much time in and seeing it kind of falling is the best way to put it, and failing, and then going to this other one that is now running out of game codes.
Really?
They ran out of game codes yesterday. Wow. They had to, like, for a few hours, they
go back to zero and just
they just had to find more game codes because they didn't have any. And so it's just absolutely bonkers to me that
that's funny.
Had to figure out a way to get more game codes.
Well, it's been out for a while now. I mean, that game has gone through some hoops and jumps. Real quick, want to shout out Victor for the super sticker. Thank you so much. We appreciate.
Thanks, Victor.
All that. Anything else you can play besides Final Fantasy 14? I heard RIP to your one game. Actually, I'm not sure. This is not like breaking news, but your Magic the Gathering game, Legends.
Did it die?
Oh, that's right.
They are not continuing the game. Finishing the game is in early access still, and they are not bringing it out of it.
Yep.
I heard. I was listening to. What was I listening to? They were talking about it, but yeah, I was listening to a podcast earlier this week. I'm like, oh wow, like. I was like, that name just piqued my interest. It would have been like over my head if you didn't talk about it.
That's absolutely. I didn't even hear that news. That is crazy that they're canceling it.
Why canceling it completely. I think part of it's because of how bad. What's the other game in the like D&D universe that just came out on Xbox? That was on. It was just it fell
I know
flat.
what you're talking about, but I can't
remember the name of it. Someone in the chat will probably get me on that. But
Baldur's Gate 3?
No, not Baldur's Gate 3. No, like, actually like D&D like. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It was actually pushed with that. It's a co-op game, like 4-person.
Oh damn!
It's not Vermintide, but it's kind of like that. Or am I thinking of Warhammer? Anywho, it's
Dark Alliance.
What?
Dark Alliance.
Dark Alliance.
Dark Alliance. Okay,
that game was a big for all intents and purposes, a flop. So that people are suggesting that maybe because of how bad that game was, they don't want to have another game that they think is not going to succeed. I think they just weren't seeing what they wanted to. So
yeah, that's really odd.
I'm sorry, but anything else you've been playing?
No, not currently. I was going to jump into a few Stadia games, but then I've just been working and playing Final Fantasy because you hate us, and I don't hate what I keep on inviting you guys to play with. It's literally a free game. You can.
I will install on my PlayStation, and we can play. Yes. You can play.
Can we? Is it cross compatible? Because we're playing on PC.
I think it should be. I don't see why it wouldn't be. That game is like so massive. You feel like they would, but
I think so.
I mean, my PC app is it on game? Is it on GeForce Now? Because I have that subbed right now. So maybe
it's currently on Steam, and then it has its own like.
Well, if it's through GeForce Now, I can play because my laptop cannot handle it on its Intel HD 2000.
So you can play.
PS4 can play with PC. I'd be surprised if you couldn't because that game's been out for so long.
Well, yeah.
Cross-play that.
Like I said, you guys are invited to play with us.
Okay. So I have not had as much time to play games as I wanted to. I was really busy with the work last week, and but yeah, I'm working my way through Kaze still, and I'm the last. There's 4 worlds now in the last world of that. I know Nick, you play a bunch of that. I had a little small Twitter feud with you on trying to get
the official account got involved in.
Yeah, it was funny. About trying to beat his score, and then he decided to say you did this to yourself, and then just destroyed my time. But I don't do all the time trials. I try to do them when if the level's fun. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I like to speed run this, but I'm like, this is gonna be a tedious mess. I'm like, not gonna go deal with it. But no, I love that game. That game is just so much fun. Very very good ode to Donkey Kong and the country and the style of game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I tried a little bit of Moonlighter just to see how it ran on Stadia because I've played that game before. Runs good. I was going to try to play that Power Soccer. I'm like, this is just not good use of my time right now.
Yeah.
And decided to go play Kaze instead. And then of course I just still play League of Legends and Wild Rift here and there. Actually, I'm planning on streaming League of Legends at some point through GeForce Now for the channel. So it'd be fun to do that. But enough of that now, because that's all I really have going on. We can talk about. I gotta add. There we go. Oh my goodness, where am I doing?
Wait for it.
I'm trying to remember how. Oh, this is the one.
There we go.
That's the window. It's been a while since I've been in the driver's seat. It's been like a month since we've done an episode, and Aaron was the host last time. So, but yeah, we have July's pro games are now live, which is it's midway through the month. So sorry guys, if you're ready to jump to these games, then congratulations. We have 4 games this month. We have, as I said, Moonlighter, which is a game I knew was going to become straight to pro. I think I said it when it came. I'm like, this game has been free on Epic Game Store. This game has been free on like a bunch of different platforms. Like, it's going to be free once it's going to be straight to pro, which it was. So there you go. Terraria, which is hilarious, all the drama Terraria brought to the Stadia platform, and now it's free with pro.
Yeah.
Look at that as a game that we kind of knew. It really is. And then Darkside Detective, which makes sense because actually we'll get to it. There's a sale going on, and actually this sequel is on sale. So if you have a chance to play the game now, kind of like we were saying with a few weeks ago, Fiona, with whatchamacallit, Life is Strange. How, like, you have this, you put the sequel, the prequel on sale or with pro, and you have the sequel like there on sale or available, dropped at the same time. Nope, no, they're doing it wrong there. And then, I'm actually excited to get this. I just didn't have the time to jump into this one. It's probably a little more narrative. I didn't want to like shut my brain off. And then this Street Pro Football, which I looked at the Metacritic for this game. I know Stadia Source has a review of it they posted recently, so I have not looked at it yet, so I don't know how it holds up. But any of these games you are planning on jumping into, or if you have already played elsewhere or that you enjoyed?
Go ahead, Fiona.
Either of you?
Yeah, I definitely plan on jumping into the Darkside Detective because it was actually a game that I was looking at previously, and I'm like, you know what, I want to get it, but it's on sale, but maybe I should wait. Maybe I should see if it becomes a Stadia Pro game, and it became a Stadia Pro game. Yeah. So patience got me a win this time. So I'll definitely be jumping into that because I love kind of point and click adventures, and this is right up my alley because I love detective games. So just 2 things coming together, and definitely something I'll jump into. I have played Terraria before. Shocked that they put it as a pro game, especially like you said, after the controversy, the drama. And then Moonlighters for sure. I'm not particularly interested in football because, you'd think as a huge sports fan such as myself, I would want to jump into this game, but it just doesn't speak to me, so I'll probably not play that one, but I'll definitely jump into the Darkside Detective and Moonlighter for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I played Terraria on my phone actually. That's the only time I played Terraria, but I've heard. I mean, it's a fun game. It's just Nick? What about you?
All right, go ahead and scroll down to that Street Power Football. Let me tell you something. I'll claim anything. A free game's a free game.
Yeah.
This is legitimately, since I started my pro subscription back in March of last year.
Yeah.
This is the first game I have not claimed because I hate the cover art that much. And the reason why I say that is because look, it looks like the man broke his leg.
It's true.
It's like, I don't know if that's even like possible what he's doing right there. I don't care. I don't want to see it on my screen.
I jumped into it and started doing the tutorial, and I'm like, nah, this isn't it. This isn't it. Like, this is not the Mario Strikers that we really want.
Yeah.
And
No, but aside from that, this is kind of one of the first months where there really hasn't been a game that I'm like, oh, I'm going to check it out. I haven't checked out any of them. But that's more because of the summer sales going on, which we'll get into later. But,
that's next. We'll have that ready.
Taking up my time.
Moonlighter, if you like roguelikes, it's a cool take on it in terms of kind of feeling, because it's like a shop sim / so it has like that kind of like almost like Harvest Moon. You kind of you have like a town where you got like you upgrade the town. You're like acquiring different like a blacksmith or different like shops. You're like kind of like unlocking them to build up your town, and then you go down to the dungeons and then actually collect stuff to then come back and sell. Like, there's like a push your luck kind of mechanic with the roguelike aspect of it, is you can jump out at like pretty much any time and take what you have, or you can keep trying to push forward.
That's fun.
You die.
Yeah.
So like it's a very unique style. Like roguelikes are kind of becoming tired, and like unless they outside of standouts like Hades, which are like take it and make it really make it really like narrative. How they handle that game, by giving some sort of through line to it and making you like, I think it's a good take as opposed to some other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a fun, fantastic game. I love the art stuff that game. But Terraria, I mean, it's fine if you like building. I mean, if you don't want to play Minecraft, it's there for you. It has also has I think a little bit of story too. But I didn't really follow when I was playing. And then Dark Side Detectives I do want to check out. This is one I really do want to check out.
Yeah, it looks fun. I've heard good things about it.
But yeah, and yeah, that's I think we have. Well, I will stop sharing, and then we can go to, as you said, the next. We kind of alluded to this is we have some good Stadia news with the this week on Stadia. Oh, it's not. Oh, I did not add a stream. There you go. This week on Stadia, we got this right after the keynote stuff, which we'll talk about next. We got FIFA 22 confirmed and the day and date with all the prices. You can pre-order now for $50, which is pretty awesome considering most next-gen games now are $70. And I say next-gen games, guys, because the one big thing with this, and I'm not sure if it's in this part of it or if it it's right here. Yeah, here we go. Pick your favorite club and score the Vital Brace. That Vital Brace. A brace is when you score 2 goals in a game, by the way. With brand new hypermotion technology that makes your matches even more real, which is a feature that will only be available on the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and Google Stadia. I'm not sure if it's the S as well. I think it's just the X. I'm not sure if that's. I forget if that's both platforms there. But the next gen consoles, the next gen consoles, and Stadia, not PC, not Switch, which is getting like a PS3 version. I think of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's that. This is like the biggest news of this. And this was there's other articles that just break down this, but this doesn't need a full article. I just think it's really shows that Stadia is capable of keeping up with the big boys. What do you guys take on this feature coming to Stadia?
I think
in terms of its like perspective of like how people outside views to as well for Stadia.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is definitely a great step in the it's a good step in the right direction. And I know we've talked about this numerous times, just like the kind of stigma when it comes to Stadia, and now seeing that this is an option that you can get with the Stadia service might get more people interested. And this kind of goes hand in hand as well with some people still can't get consoles. There's still people who are trying to get a new Xbox or trying to get a new PlayStation. And they're like, man, I want to get that hyper motion technology. Is it something for me? No. But is it something for someone who's like really into sports games and maybe like even a kid trying to like get into these games, or they maybe have enjoyed them in the past, don't have the money to get an actual full console, and then trying to sell this game to their parents saying like, hey, I could get it on this thing called Stadia. They may already have it. So having this is, I'm really happy to see it with Stadia for sure. And hopefully this kind of introduces more options and more like leeway into other opportunities in the future for Stadia.
And someone asked like, what are the other next gen features? I just want to point that out. I don't think there's anything. I think this is the main one, but it's big that it's not coming to PC, which is a PC Master Race and everything like that. But it is coming to Stadia, which is I think it everyone always talks about Stadia as like kind of lesser than. And I think this kind of brings it to the same bar. Like, oh, like people when Stadia specs came out originally, it was like, oh, this is more powerful than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Xbox One X. Sorry, I had to think about that beforehand because their marketing is great. So I think it's just more like, hey, this is a feature that's only not available to previous platforms, where it was more competing for at the time, but is able to still scale to what these new consoles are. So, Nick, any opinions on this?
This is a big one because, it's great to see someone give that press release and put Stadia on equal footing with next gen hardware, right? And make that clear distinction. Now, I know initially when this was posted, of course, Stadia tends just to get a bad rap with the gaming press in general, and some people are
still a thing.
Yeah. Oh, please.
That's what I see the most now.
Yeah. And the big thing about it is that more often than not, we just don't get a chance at this next gen or the latest and greatest. It's always maybe a port of something, or we're catching up, right? So not only to be day one on something, but also to have that extra thing is really important. Now, it's important to understand that for PC, there's always been a rocky history between FIFA and PC with their releases, right? For a while there, I believe they weren't even releasing on PC. And then when they finally did, it hasn't always gotten the features, or it's just been tough to run. It's been buggy. So there's always been that issue. And if Fiona, you're absolutely right. Consoles are still hard to come by, but I think they're also looking at the PC side of things too, right? Because right now, having a top of the line PC is almost statistically impossible in terms of just, can you get the parts and can you afford the parts? And
she knows, because Fiona just upgraded her PC and was struggling for a while trying to get a graphics card.
Agreed.
Because of it. So
sure.
You had to bring a pre-build, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a pre-build because it came with the 3070, because getting a 3070 or even one of the 30 series right now, just as one specific part, you either have to be in contact with the actual manufacturer themselves. You see a lot of people getting those pre-builds from like different companies online on Twitter that are just like, oh, thanks for getting me this specific PC. That's like the only people I currently see right now, or if they have a bot that has access to it.
Even Jeff Gerstmann, like he runs Giant Bomb. Yeah. He ended up getting a pre-build. Unfortunately, right afterwards, he got in touch with NVIDIA and they actually sent him a 3090. But he's still he was trying for so long to get a 3080 to the point where he's like, I'm just gonna buy a pre-built because it's cheaper. It's like as much as buying just the card itself. At this point. So the price difference isn't that much off. So
yeah. And it's worth noting that the hypermotion technology, I mean, it's a cool feature, but if you want to play on PC, it's not a game breaker, but the idea behind it is really cool. What they were saying is that the concept of it is that the game will look at everything happening on the field and it will generate animations for the players in real time. Yeah, it's like machine learning. So, if two guys collide in a specific way, it's going to come up with an animation for that on the spot. Sounds like a great opportunity for some hilarious glitches if this doesn't work properly.
And those games always have crazy things, like playing Madden, like people's like helmets being stuck together, running away, like stuff like that's always really fun. So, but no, it's awesome. Like seeing these kind of features. I think the other big thing about this is the game on next gen consoles is $70. And the one thing I misunderstood how they published it first, and it's not in this article, obviously, because it's just this week on Stadia. But I didn't pull up another article, but to buy it cross-platform, you have to spend $100. So if you want to buy it on your PS4 and have it eventually upgrade to your PS5, they're calling it dual. Some dumb buzzword that was like made it sound even worse. I thought it was gonna be like across like platforms, how they like worded it. Like if you want to play on Xbox and PlayStation, it's $100. That I can understand a little bit more because this is like two SKUs. You're kind of like spending one price on. But no, it was literally $100 to go upgrade to the next console. If you get a PS5 down the road, which is terrible. That's awful.
No.
So Stadia is even like a better option because Stadia could get an upgrade, say later this year. For all we know, we don't know when the next gen for Stadia is going to come out. We've heard rumors for the last 2 years now, almost about next gen, even like to be a year and a half, I should say. But so yeah, like when it does get an upgrade, like it's just going to get a power bomb probably. I mean, if obviously the developers have to turn it on, but like it's there and available, and like you saw with the PlayStation like Pro, like even if the game wasn't made for Pro, it ran a little bit better because there's more hardware behind it, there's more RAM behind it, kind of thing. So I've been not bad about keeping up the chat, but I want to say Ray Rashad agrees with you and everything you have to say about the FIFA stuff.
You're my favorite.
Stadia is a fluid platform. Again, which kind of what I said. Stadia is a fluid platform, kind of between the next and this generation. But again, like it can upgrade at any time. Like it's possible that they upgrade the blades at some time. So just want to shout out some of the people in the chat. Frank over here saying FIFA coming to Stadia. That's a money move. So yeah, it's like FIFA being day and date as well. Like this is not coming later, not coming after the season's over. No, this is coming day and date, which is I think also the bigger headline for this all is that we're getting a big EA game day and date. Also, Ray said we should get hockey on Stadia, hockey on Stadia, which I think a lot of people agree with. I've seen a lot of that on Twitter recently. Like, hey, now we're getting this day and date. Like, where's NHL? Where's NHL?
Yeah,
I know. Fiona's probably super excited about that.
Absolutely, absolutely, I am.
Do you actually follow hockey?
A little bit, but not enough to like say that I know much about hockey. Okay. That's the best way to put it. I know I'm a bad Canadian. I apologize, guys.
It's okay. It's forgivable.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah, other than the FIFA news, which I think was like really the biggest thing on this, we got Streets of Rage 4 dates finally and at a price, nice. July 15th, which I know a bunch of people are excited about, at least in the GSN crew. So I've always liked the different like that style game in general. So I'm down for that. And we have more Avengers. Avengers is on sale in the Stadia store. I'm actually debating on getting it now. It's like I've been debating on getting a PS4 just for the Spider-Man stuff. I'm like, at this point, are we ever gonna get Spider-Man? Is it gonna really be worth it? Do I just pay it now and get it, or do I just wait? I'm kind of between, like I want to play on Stadia. Like that's the thing. Like that's honestly where I gravitate to now. Like it's not a joke. Like I literally like when I think about playing a game, I don't want to go downstairs and turn my PlayStation on. I kind of just want to chill on my computer here in this room, or go to the other room and lay with my wife, play on my phone. Like that's what I want to do at this point. So having it available anywhere, like, is it worth not being able to play as Spider-Man? Sure, why not? Like, I don't know. So I might actually pull the trigger on that. Yeah. And then Orcs Must Die 3 is leaving Stadia Pro, and that's one of the last exclusives that we have on Stadia. We still have this, Outcasters, and Submerged, I think, are the last three I can think of. We've heard nothing about the Harmonix game that they were supposed to be working with under SG&E. That's even still a thing, or the Supermassive game. Mm-hmm. So, which is sad. So I mean, at this point, I almost assume they're dead since we've had nothing, no follow up on those games. Yeah. They did kind of say in that original post, like any ongoing game, like contracts would be rewarded, or like not rewarded, but like supported. But it's just kind of odd that we haven't heard much more about that. So
yeah. Also, it's worth noting that Orcs Must Die 3 is getting a PC release.
Yes.
It's not going to be a Stadia exclusive anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mentioned is losing the exclusivity, but I should have clarified. Yeah, it is getting a PC version as well, just like Wavebreak did recently. I'm assuming Outcasters is probably another year exclusivity too, and same with Submerged. Submerged was a little bit of a letdown. That game was fine for a
It's
chill
okay.
game.
Yeah,
If you want,
I enjoyed it for what it was.
It's a game if you want to like just chill like after work. It's just kind of mindless.
Yeah.
But, nothing too crazy there. So yeah, that's all the new stuff on State. No, I did not want to. Oh, there you go. I almost hit leave studio. I'm like, no, that's not the red button I want.
I like how we get a
is-
sound effect from you for every transition.
Yeah, exactly. That's how good I am at this. Okay, so now the big I think the headline for this this show here is add stream, and there we go. Stadia is now offering more incentives for game developers, including a new affiliate program. I'm not sure if either of you guys caught or watched any of it. I'm sure you guys caught up on the news and saw headlines like this. But today they had a developer showcase, a developer conference in general, not just covering Stadia stuff, but covering some other cloud stuff and some HTML gaming stuff, but just Google gaming stuff in general.
Yeah.
But they had a Stadia keynote as the headliner for the thing, and it was very short. It was like I'm like, oh, we'll be right back soon. I'm like, okay, is there gonna be more? Then they posted a schedule. I'm like, oh no, there's other that was it. Okay, and there was other big stuff in some of the other ones, which I think I'm not sure, I forget this article covers, but I realize I'll talk about what I remember from watching it. So I'm not sure if you guys watched it or not, so I'll just go through real quick and then we'll get your takes. So he's offering, the headline. So yeah, the gaming summit, and the big things that they announced were the big three were the fact that they're now doing a affiliate program, which is interesting. So Google will be taking. Oh no, sorry. This is the. First thing I should say. First they're doing a cheaper cut of the game starting October 1st, so more soon. They're only going to be taking 15% of the cut instead of the typical 30-70. They're going to be doing 85-15 for the first 3 million threshold, and then it'll be it'll go up to the typical 70-30. So that's a good way of getting the indie devs in bound.
That's awesome.
The other thing was, starting an affiliate program. So based on Stadia Pro revenue to developers and publishers of games. And it's all based, it's a weird program based on like how many consecutive plays people and like return plays people come back to a game. Like instead of you jumping into a pro game, playing it once and dipping, like if you actually return to the game, they actually get a monetary reward up to a certain, like the minimum is like $500. Like, so if you get that to $500, then you get paid out. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting, it's an interesting incentive to get people on board. Like, hey, you can make it you can make your money back on your port if you get your game to if you partner with Pro. Even if it's an older game, like if you still want to make your money, you can bring it in, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. And then currently pro games, and there's publishing partners in the affiliate program launching first half. This program is in the first half of 2022, and yeah, that's that. I'm actually gonna pull up. I thought this had a little bit more in it. I'm gonna pull up Stadia Sources article as well, because I think they kind of had the other bullet points. But while we're talking about those two big things, what were your guys' takeaways?
All you, Fiona.
I think
I need to grab a point of the finger.
Yeah, no.
Hey guys, talk like which one of us?
I don't want to interrupt. It's not my podcast.
No, absolutely. You're more than welcome to by all means. But no, I think this is really great to see. This shows once again that they have an initiative to continue with Stadia and getting more people excited for the actual platform and offering these options for even maybe some indie developers rather than the bigger hitters that we've been seeing moving over, like Ubisoft and then the EA and all these other games. Like we could specifically see things that are like a little bit smaller that might pique some interest. I know, my goodness, I say Ubisoft and like the sports games, but then we also see a lot of JRPGs that have been moving over. I would personally, for me, especially with how many showcases that we saw over E3 when it came to indie developers and just the indie like games, that maybe they might be more interested to move over to Stadia at this point, or thinking about maybe our next game we might make a Stadia port, or even just transitioning one of the games that we might be releasing later on this year, because it has I think this year was definitely a great year to highlight those types of indie games. So hopefully we see a lot more of those coming over to Stadia. The affiliate program is definitely really exciting as well. I'll definitely be checking it out more in detail and getting more details there. I know you just brought up some information up here as well.
Yeah, fine. So the affiliate program is, and I was confused that I thought it was this, and then I'm like, wait, is it just for developers? But no, it is for developers and partners, so streamers included. You know, they get on the affiliate program. Ignore the British English; it's terrible. I know, but then Fiona's like, I know that's how it's spelled. What are you talking about?
we spell it program the like program
without the extra letters at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Programme. So yeah, like we're using the click to play links actually like in your description for your game. Like, hey, if you want to play this game, go buy it now. Like hit the button below in the description and you can play the game, and then they get a cut of that. Like that's like to incentivize streamers to actually play the game besides just the natural interaction that can come with the crowd play. I think is a cool little additive feature. Like, I mean, to incentive. And I've actually noticed with that recent AT&T bundle, the 6-month like program they've been doing now. If you get AT&T Fiber or 5G, you can get 6 months of Stadia Pro, and then you also get a Premier Edition for like $20. It's like some stupid deal. I've actually seen 2 ads now on Twitter for that that thing. I meant to bring that up. I was doing this while like taking a break from work, and I forgot to bring that up one of the tweets. But it was like a decent size like YouTuber that was actually on one of them. The one was this Hispanic woman I wasn't familiar with, but both. I mean, I was surprised to see 2 like Twitter accounts that have post ads with that. So that's kind of cool. So it seems they're pushing more with content creators a little bit more to get them on board. And Nick, I'm not sure if Fiona was done, but
no, absolutely. Go right ahead, Nick.
Okay, so this is a big one. There's a lot of inside baseball here. I was watching, I think it was Force Cars Gaming, his kind of live reaction to all of this, and it's kind of tough to watch someone that plays games and doesn't develop, because you don't, you really want those clear bullet points. I think they did it in a way that does actually get the community pretty excited. So the big thing is the commission. Okay, so right now, just as a point of comparison, because I think the majority of indie games that are released on PC, and the majority of those games are also going to be released through Steam. Steam's cut right now, they take 30% of the cut of the revenue right off the top. They will lower it to 25%, but your game has to really perform. It's only once you get up to 10 million in sales that they're going to even drop that down, and it's only 25%. Yep. Google is doing something really unique.
The opposite.
Which is, they're flipping the script, and they're saying, we want to give you incentive to, we're going to take less from you for your first cut. And then, down the road, if your game is really successful, we're going to ratchet it up to what is more of an industry standard. So that is a really big deal. And especially one of the other things that I think you were talking about, Jacob, that wasn't mentioned in that article is they're simplifying the developer process. Yes. They're making it so easy. Basically saying if you've got a Gmail account, you have access to the full suite of developing tools. They're switching over. I think I'm not prone to the specific. I think they said it was going to be from DirectX to Vulkan or something like that.
Well, that's the big thing is like and a lot of people have had issues with transitioning things to Vulkan because of how the APIs work. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not a programmer, but I know some tech stuff as someone took some programming classes. But the APIs, how they work, you have to like kind of find them and swap some APIs to get the Google specific APIs to work. And you don't. DirectX is a big problem with it. So like you're not going to need to really port over to Vulkan as much. It sounds like from overall. I was trying to find an article that had it, and everyone was talking more about the cut instead of the. I thought that was bigger bigger news, honestly. So
Yeah, it's such a big deal because, when you are an indie developer, right, you probably have low expectations for the amount of revenue that you're going to make for a game, right? And you're not looking at that 10 million number that Valve's putting out. And so I think that this is a clear move to me to attract indie developers to their platform. We saw that shift with the closing of SG&E to now, rather than trying to produce these things in-house or have people come on board to make games through that label, they are now just trying to attract people to say, hey, come develop for us, make games for us. And we're going to give you this absolute sweetheart deal, plus that affiliate link where now you're kind of becoming a spokesperson for Stadia. I saw someone else suggest this, and I think it's a great idea, which is I think content creators should get that link as well. If you have a system now where if somebody clicks on your link, right, and they get access to, and they get some kind of monetary reward if they sign up for Pro, why wouldn't you do that for, the big content creators? And I will say, Stadia really has been doing a better job than they have been in the past of reaching out to their major content creators and supporting them, retweeting the stuff that they're doing. I think they've been doing a great job with that over the last few months. I'd love to see that tool also be extended to major Stadia-related content creators, like maybe the Speaking of Stadia podcast. Jake, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
I am muted because I was pulling stuff, and that's why. I know. If we could be so lucky, of course, absolutely. I was able to find this article was posted after I put the doc together, so that's why I couldn't find it. But yeah, so this kind of goes into exactly how what you were saying about the porting from Vulkan to DirectX. Just makes the whole process easier. Yeah. They also talked a lot about certification for the games too. That was a third talk they talked about making the cert process quicker and easier, to less run around with that and trying to make it so it's you only need a cert once and not resubmit multiple times. You can even do a diagnostic on if you're going to pass cert or not, or before you even go through the actual cert process. And they're adding more tools to that, so that was pretty exciting. To see them actually listening to feedback and developing it. Again, going with the narrative Stadia is dead. What Stadia is? I thought it was a thing. They are actually pushing forward. They are making I think the right things to do. So yeah, right here, goal to greatly reduce the time of first light. No one needs to change the APIs in a Windows game. Specifically, no need to transition from DirectX to Vulkan, which is massive. Yeah, one of the bigger undertakings for it all. And also converting from 32-bit to 64-bit, stuff like that. The one big thing I saw in the cert process stuff too is they talked about in the cert process they made the games that originally when Stadia first released was that they had to hit 4K 60, and some games just don't use it. They're not coded to even hit those frame rates. So making them to make that version of the game then just be able to hit those just to meet cert, they removed that one pretty early. So that was kind of interesting to see. That's probably part of why the lineup was so low at the beginning, because they had trouble hitting those benchmarks. I know even the big games that released, not released, but in that release window, Doom Eternal had issues even hitting the 4K. Made the close, but yeah, this is the other stuff. I mean, that's the gist of it. Really, was the API stuff and the conversion. They're also making the tools apparently more streamlined for. I mean, I know Unity already had a good conversion or executable stuff like that. So them making that also better for Unreal was pretty good. There are a few Unreal games on here. I think Borderlands 3 is on Unreal Engine. So,
right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, we have some more good news from the Stadia. From 9 to 5 Google, which has been doing a lot of the front half is 9 to 5 Google, I will admit.
A lot of good content there.
This is again about them pushing Stadia forward and actually trying to get it out there and get it in front of eyes. Google TV has begun suggesting Stadia games in the For You tab. Did either of you guys pick up the Google TV with Chromecast or not?
Yeah, I got one.
I did.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. It is buttery smooth. Going from a Chromecast Ultra to this thing, and it was an easy sell because it kind of, rather than going to my Android, it's not Android, but my TV for the built-in apps, which are kind of clunky on my Samsung TV. I can just kind of consolidate everything into one space. And what I love about it is, and I think this is what this article is talking about, is that Stadia is front and center. Like, they want you to see it and know that you have access to it, especially since you can connect any Bluetooth controller.
Yeah,
and
there.
Yeah, this one shows. Yeah, I've gotten suggestions. So right now, I guess we're a Marvel household. So right now on my main screen, it's Marvel's Avengers, the game. I guess it'll remember games that you play often and give you a jumping off point. So right from the home screen, I can jump right into Marvel's Avengers. And then, of course, Loki on Disney Plus, and Black Widow just came out, so that's on there too. It's all Marvel stuff. They know.
The thing I'm curious about is if it's showing. Well, I mean, we're seeing people that are. I think I should maybe be confirmed later on. Like, if your account is already linked to Stadia and you already play Stadia games on it, is it showing you them then, or is it showing like the layperson? Like my mom and dad, if they had this Chromecast, are they gonna if you go to For You, are they gonna show Family Feud from Ubisoft on the For You?
Yeah. Now
that's
I know
my thing. Like,
yeah, when you load the Stadia app, it asks you what account you want to use. Kind of like when you first set up a Chromecast Ultra, it'll ask you to pick an account. But I believe that because on at the top you can pick profiles and have different logins if you wanted for the individual apps. So I believe it's going to be based off of your profile, and if you wanted them to have a profile, it wouldn't show it. But I mean, even then, like before I even played any Stadia games, like the Destiny 2 thing popped up. So I think it's just going to be a thing that's just part of the rotation.
If that's part of that's my bigger thing is, as long as it's part of the rotation, not like once you link a Stadia account to this, then you're gonna start seeing it For You.
Yeah,
I wanted to be like I want my mom to see Just Dance 2022 and be like, oh my god, I used to watch my kids play that. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
Instead of doing just stuff like that, like. Like a Paw Patrol game or something, like, oh, you have kids, like, oh, you're watching, like, they'll love this game, blah blah blah, like that kind of stuff. I think that's what we're. Yeah, that's what I was wondering if you saw it before you even added the Stadia app. Because
I want to say I did the same day that it went live, because I think I was on vacation, so I came back after the app had launched and Destiny 2 popped up on there. But it's good. My only real gripe with it is because the interface is very smooth. It loads a lot faster. There's just better transitions, that kind of thing. It looks good. But the problem that I have with it is now when I use my Stadia controller, if I hit the power button on the Stadia controller, it will glitch out half the time. It'll never actually boot Stadia like it did from the Chromecast Ultra. So there's a couple extra steps where now I have to actually go into the Stadia app, and then once it's loaded, then I can link my controller. And sometimes if I hit the controller first, I'll have to relink the controller because it'll spaz out. Hopefully they fix that, because I really do like that one button press to play games.
Yeah.
But other than that, no complaints.
It looks like here, the For You, better yet, a tab that for games that combines Play Pass, Stadia, and perhaps third-party services. Because Play Pass is the Android, Game Pass kind of thing. I just I'm looking at the chat and realizing I didn't talk about one thing actually. So he Maker of Chaos said about the previous article about just the record 3 million isn't a lot for most successful devs, especially the majority of that would be going to the publisher and engine cost. The thing for me is especially for smaller devs that usually self-publish, I think that's a big thing. But also porting your game is an expense. That's to actually port your game costs money, and having that lower threshold for the beginning makes the porting cost more bearable because you're getting your return on your investment for that faster. I just wanted to bring that up while I was thinking about it. I think that's another big thing with that whole lower number. 3 million isn't a ton, but for game developers that are fortunate to make 1 million are super thankful for making selling even 100,000 copies. That's a big thing for them. So that's where it really matters more. But I just want to bring that up. And I'm glad to see more integration with this. That was the thing I was really hoping to see. Fiona, did you have a chance? I'm not sure if you had a chance to say anything about this integration.
Yeah, I personally don't have one yet. I do plan on getting one in the future. It's just a matter of I'm honestly quite happy with my Chromecast Ultra as of right now, just because I
Same.
just use my phone with it. I just connect to it because I use my phone 90% of the time anyway. But I'm happy to see that we are kind of getting that integration and getting more people, more eyes on Stadia, because people might be getting this for the multiple like streaming, like TV streaming options. Now they have like, oh, I could play Destiny 2 on Stadia, or I could be playing Cyberpunk 2027, like 77. Like just having those slight visuals and getting people like, oh yeah, it's just like that slight reminder, because some people might not know Destiny, like it might sound silly to us, but some people might not know that Destiny 2, a game that they really enjoy, is on Stadia, and they could just play it wherever they want to.
For free.
For free.
For
Yeah.
free.
Mhm.
Great,
Yeah.
and it's a free-to-play game.
Yeah, and just having so many different options, because some people might just hear like, oh, Stadia is dumb, and then that's it. Because Jake, I know you and I know a lot of people who think that.
Yep.
So,
I posted about the FIFA thing today, and I got a bunch of people not talking about the Stadia factor of it, and then just jumping down my throat about Stadia. So
delightful. Yeah. So have kind of just like, hey, you know what? This particular game that you might really enjoy, FIFA might be one of them as well.
yeah, that'd be a big one to have. Like you end up watching a Premier League game, and then FIFA. Oh, for you, FIFA, you can play it right now on your TV.
Yeah.
Like that'd be huge. Like especially with the season coming up, like the Euro just finished. Like that's like that. Like people watching the Euro and like, oh, you can pre-order FIFA now on my Chromecast, and like, wait, oh, this is the full game. This is even better than the PC version for my awesome rig I have behind me.
And I'm just saying, Google, like, if you're listening, because I know you obviously are, getting hockey, I know for a fact a ton of Canadians would actually get that game through Stadia. If you just put like, hey, you can play NHL 2022 on Stadia, here you go. Like, here's a game that you can specifically play. I know there's no specific word on that, by the way, as a heads up.
I know.
But just like, at least like getting some games that might like pique people's interest, because I know Nick, you were mentioning like just having like a whole like Avengers fan, like just having a bunch of Avengers and a bunch of Marvel, just having something that might be associated with it would get more people interested. So I'm really excited to see this.
Like someone just watches Loki and then all of a sudden sees Marvel's Avengers can be played on their exactly, like that's the stuff that they need to really get this going forward.
Exactly.
Which I think is huge. And yeah, you guys said everything I was going to say. So
there you go.
But again, I'm more focused on the TV and devices. They just added a bunch of Android TVs. They've added a bunch of the Chromecast, and now they've apparently have a job posting saying that they're trying to bring it to more things like your toaster and your napkin. So yeah, there's probably a job posting for a product manager for Stadia. Among other things, to bring the platform to more devices. I'm wondering what other devices can they even do. So since the launch, we already have supposed to be starting this second half of the year. I'm not sure if I've heard anything about it, but the LG's a WebOS platform for TVs. It should be coming to those, all Android TVs and iOS devices now, obviously, besides Android devices. So yeah, the product manager, this is their job description. Define the strategy and roadmap for which devices would it support. Responsible for gameplay and app experiences on devices. Launch, just devices. Like it's like the TV, sports thing for Xbox, but instead of just the word devices in this job description. So, what other devices in your life do you think you need to play Stadia on?
I mean, we need more app access to specific TV models, because it's very limited. I mean, the new release. Yeah, I mean, like for example, my smart TV I think is maybe 3-4 years old, and the Stadia app's not going to come to that. So
what operating system does it run? Is it Android TV or?
It's definitely not Android TV. I'm not sure what it runs, and I remember when they first announced the lineup of what TVs would get the app that were not Android TVs. Very short list.
Well, it's Samsung, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's probably like Tizen they probably use for this.
Yeah.
Which is they're like it was supposed to be their competitor to Android. They tried making phones for it, didn't flop, but then they used that. They forked it into the watch, which is now combining with Wear OS. Yeah, they kind of used whatever they wanted to. Yeah, so.
But that's all I can really think of.
Yeah. So no, and you're right. Like I have a Roku, and it's like that'd be awesome. Roku's like the biggest streaming platform. You can get on Roku. That would be huge. I'm not sure a Roku stick has the power and graphics. Like you still need some baseline graphics to be able, like graphics capabilities to be able to run it. So I'm not sure if the little stick can handle it, but like something like that would be like a big thing.
Yeah. If that budget thing from Walmart can handle it, right? That I forget what it's called, but that was supported.
It's right in front of my face, everyone. Samsung Tizen based TVs.
Oh yeah, on the article. There it is.
I nailed it.
Yeah.
Boom.
So yeah. I mean, I think you're right. It's just more TVs is really all it needs to be at this point. The other platforms, is it like Fire TV sticks, Roku. WebOS is huge though. Like, I think that's a big one. Like LG TVs are among the most popular TVs, especially their OLEDs are like the like standard for OLED TVs.
Yeah.
So getting on that kind of platform is huge. Hopefully we see more of that this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, to have a whole job listing for someone just to get it on like 4 different TVs, there's got to be more than that. So I'm curious what else they're trying to do. Like, are they trying to get it on my Echo Show? Like, are they trying to get it on my?
Probably
it
not.
It just seems like odd to have a whole job and there's not really many other like platforms available. It seems like an interesting job description. So that was more I thought it was a curious thing. I know Nick's running out of time, so I want to jump ahead to an article from a fun website. I think you all should check out.
Oh man,
if you haven't already. It's very good writers over there at the Quit the Build.
Oh my goodness,
website.
Whoa.
There it is.
Stadia, the ultimate anti-cheat. I actually listened to the whole episode today on my way to work. So cool. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Okay. Well, first of all, I had to do a follow-up article to the last Stadia article that we did, because the first one that we did, where I explained kind of my journey of Stadia from when I was skeptical of it to it being my main platform. I mean, it went straight up viral. The Stadia community loves any kind of press that's not what they normally get, right? And so there was a huge outpouring of just support, and we really appreciated it. So I'm like, man, we got to get some Stadia articles in there. People want to hear about it. And I had heard this story. Nothing was really being posted in terms of articles, but when Rainbow Six Siege launched, everyone was like, oh, there's going to be crossplay and they're going to hate it because the Stadia players, they're going to look down on them or something. And what ended up happening is, and there's the tweets right there on the page. One major Rainbow Six Siege pro player kind of had this revelation, because the cheating problem in Siege is really bad, because if you have access to a wall hack, meaning you can see through walls and know where people are, the game is yours. You're gonna dominate much more than like a Twitch-based game, because it's all about kind of hiding in a corner, right, and shooting. Yeah. And so, what people realized was, and what the pro scene realized is, hey, if we go on the Stadia version of this game and disable crossplay in the settings and only play with other Stadia players, the option for there to be wall hacks and even to some extent aimbotting is completely out the window, because everybody is streaming from Blades, and the traditional routes people are going to get this software that takes care of it and layers on top of your game when you're cheating. It's not possible. And so, it kind of got some traction. You can see a lot of people shared this. A lot of people were talking about it, about how, oh my goodness, like this is a game changer if people agreed to do it. That's the big caveat. But I think it's just a really interesting conversation, and one that I never thought about prior to seeing these tweets and hearing it being discussed, is like, if you're in a cloud gaming space, right, where you can stay in that bubble, then you can effectively discourage, if not eliminate, cheating. And Stadia has an advantage that other platforms don't, because Xbox, when you're on xCloud, you're playing with Xbox players. Amazon Luna, I believe to a certain extent you're playing with PC players. I'm not 100% sure on
it's
that.
cross-play. Stadia, Luna, and PC are cross-play.
Yeah. Right. So Stadia is one of the only options that you have.
And Stadia runs, from my understanding, way better than Luna. I played it on Luna. Yes. It was unbearable.
Stadia is great. I have played it. It runs fantastic. A lot of players are that were skeptical are now making that one of their main ways to play.
Yeah, and actually in our chat we have Ray Sherrod who's saying he's literally playing Siege right now while watching us. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in while you're clicking heads over there. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Maker of Chaos, that makes a good point there. Yeah, it's not, you're not solving the problem, right? There is going to be people that can get around it, right? Aimbotting. I believe someone shortly after I made that article, someone posted, I think in the subreddit about how someone was able to create an aimbot based on just what's on the screen, right? And that's all you need for Stadia, because that's all you see is what's on the screen. You don't have
still
access
like you're saying this data. Like X-ray vision kind of things, like those are way more limited,
right? Without actually being able to like inject code into the blade, you wouldn't be able to do that. You could still do like scripting, right, where one mouse button does like 5 or 6 things,
macros.
But it really does a great job of just eliminating that factor. Like I know if I'm playing a game with other Stadia players, it's going to be an even battlefield. I think it's something that really should be talked about more.
Oh yeah, I agree. And it's crazy to see big names talk about it. Like my buddy, one of my good friends wants me to play Siege all the time, and I'm like, I'll play with you, but then of course, Stadia, Luna, and them are all cross-play, but not cross-party. So you can't group up with people across platforms.
Interesting.
From my understanding, at least I saw on Twitter, and people were like, how can I partner with my friends that play on PC? And like, there's no way of doing it.
Yeah.
So. You would think there would be a way through like Ubisoft Club or whatever it is now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you have the Ubisoft Plus subscription, at least you have access to it, across several different platforms. But yeah, just I was really happy to write about it because I think more people do need to be talking about just the benefit of cloud gaming and what it can do for a competitive scene. Obviously, in a game like this and in most pro scenes, any kind of input latency is a negative. But I think if you took anybody that is a high level player and said, well, in exchange for maybe that little bit more input latency and having to learn it through a streaming service rather than on a native device, if we can guarantee you that you're not going to run into people that have wall hacks, I think a lot of people would take that deal.
Yeah, they definitely.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a cool thing. I mean, I hope this actually does flourish and actually get more traction in terms of like people actually doing this. Because I keep asking clicking the freaking thing. I like his use of emulate Stadia on your PC. It's like you don't need to emulate.
Like you need to, yeah. I
thought that was cute. It was very cute that he said emulate on your PC.
And people corrected him. It's one of those things where like people don't understand the service. Like they have to be educated. It's all this ongoing
it's called
battle.
Open Google Chrome and then just go to googlestadia.com and
Stadia. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does one acquire the Stadia?
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you need to get going. I wanted to give you a shout out here. I was gonna, regardless if you were on today, I was gonna be talking about this anyway. So it's not like I'm just doing it just because you're on, and that's not why you're on. I enjoy hearing your takes. You had some very good stuff. So tell us where we can find you. Obviously, besides here at quitthebuild.com.
Quitthebuild.com. Yeah, that's pretty much the landing page. We've got access to our podcast, all that kind of thing. You can get us on Twitter at QuitTheBuild, and Instagram at QuitTheBuild Podcast. We're even on TikTok, for God's sake, at QuitTheBuild. I'm making the talks these days. That's fun. That's about it. We're also heard on all major platforms. Quit the Build, twice weekly gaming news, and we are very Stadia friendly because it's my main gaming platform. My friend is mostly Xbox and I'm mostly Stadia, so we kind of round each other out. But
him with Bruno with his Halo rants are
man. Don't get that guy started, but yeah, we have to do it because it's good. It's good content.
Oh, of course. And Ray, just a heads up, we are not done yet. Nick just has to go record Quit the Build podcast, so you can. And they start at 10 o'clock. You guys start recording live on Twitch, right?
I'm not on Twitch anymore. We actually moved over to Twitter Spaces, so now we're making a space. So you can go on there on mobile, and do like a live listening of our show. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So
head over to their Twitter. What your Twitter at? You can see it there if you're watching live at Quit the Build. And you guys record on what nights?
We do a record on Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for jumping on. I love having you on, and hopefully I can. If there's a nice Stadia news day, I can jump on and I'll quit the build and fill that
gotta
void.
get on there, man, for sure. Great to be on here. Great talking with you both, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, sir. Stop by.
Thank you so much, Nick.
So yeah, I'm going to move that. So we got a little bit more to go through. Most of it should be pretty quick. I know I said we're not done yet, but it's mostly some little stuff. Actually, not I should say all little stuff. There are some big things, but we got done talking about a lot of positive things, and unfortunately, there's negative things to talk about, which is never a good thing. But we have, unfortunately, Outriders still not freaking patched, and I wish we had. This is where I wish we had Aaron on, because Aaron is the Outriders guy, but was for a week, and then he's like, "I'm done with it because Game Pass, and I'm just done with this game." So we were promised at one point a few weeks ago, I think a month ago, that Stadia would be patched shortly to become parity with the rest of the consoles, and also have crossplay with that, and other features that we were promised in the beginning. And this game came out in, I think, March. Yeah, it was about March or April.
I think it was like late March. It was around the time that it was released.
So that was, let me open my calendar. 1, 2, 3, 4 months ago, give or take. And still no Stadia crossplay, which is very sad. And as we see, we have people here like Ray Sherrod saying, paid $60 for Outriders and not happy about it, which is unfortunate because it's, again, if it was a game where you could play on multiple consoles like a Ubisoft Plus, you get a little less barrier to entry for games like that. But no, unfortunately, it's still not patched. As this article from 9 to 5 Google says, here's what's going on with Outriders on Google Stadia based on the older versions of the game. We're essentially a demo release lacking crossplay support on other platforms and leaving the game with some notable issues. That was fixed at one point in May, but the port quickly fell back into the same version mismatch after. Currently Stadia port is based on, so maybe they did get it on parity and then back to where it was. So Stadia version is still on 1.04. The information has oddly been removed from the port start screen as of this morning, which launched around May on other platforms. The current version on other platforms is 1.09 and 0.10. So the next patch will be scheduled to arrive this week. So whether that brings it up to parity, I'm not sure we really know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did you jump into Outriders at all when it released?
I didn't, but honestly, I'm trying, like, when it comes to something like this, as someone who's been with a specific game that did not do particularly well, aka Fallout 76, seeing something like this where they just decided to keep us, like, not releasing the updates on time to a point where we're so far behind that they're almost in the double digits and we're here still on 104. Like, it does not look really great for Outriders on Stadia at this time. And I'm really hoping that when they do bring out any like the patches or at least a fix, that we're seeing the fixes to these like massive issues, because just like, a lot of people paid $60 up front to play this game. And now it's riddled with bugs.
And I've heard people have refunded it even beyond the 2 hours, 14 days, and have gotten their money back. I'm not sure how that's still a thing, but I remember even at their launch, like, people were beyond that actual window, but they were actually still honoring that to some degree. I'm not, again, I don't know how beyond that they were pushing it, but because of just how broken this game is and how behind, like. And I remember Aaron being at the launch because he was playing on Xbox, because he had Xbox One X. Xbox Series X. Yeah. Caught myself again. Terrible marketing. That he's like, they were so, like, the game was broken on all platforms when it launched, but like they were very transparent about making changes and patching. But the thing that Aaron missed in all of that was that the Stadia wasn't on any of those patches. And they launched the demo version of the game, essentially. So yeah, it was
which is so odd.
Which is odd because again, they were being so good and transparent in general, but just like neglecting one whole platform. Granted, I'm sure the pie graph of people playing on Stadia was not nearly close to the majority.
Yeah.
But still, you are supporting this platform. You're adding it to your repertoire. I know it's a lot to ask, but like some companies develop stuff on all the platforms and Switch, and they do fine with Switch too. So it's sad to see. I mean, there's nothing much really to like. I mean, I don't understand what they're doing. I guess Square, they've had a lot of bad luck in terms of game launches. I'm being nervous and randomly highlighting things, but no, it's just like they, especially even with like back to Avengers, where that one's had a weird development cycle too, where like they had a release schedule set up, and then that kind of changed. And now we're supposed to have the Black Panther stuff last year in like November, and then now it's coming out. So that doesn't come out yet. We're still getting that. Some of that had to do with Chadwick Chadwick Boseman. I'm saying his name right.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, I always get his last name pronounced wrong. But yeah, like with his passing, I know that has something to do with the delays, but like it wasn't like a whole year. It's not like that's a bit much. So there's it just thanks. It just as they stated, we're already the black sheep of the gaming world, and then just exemplified in that one thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird move because it's like I'd understand maybe like one or two versions off. Like if they were on 106 and we were on 104, like okay, that kind of makes sense. But now it's getting to a point where it's slightly ridiculous because you're doubled the amount, and it just doesn't make any sense why they haven't even tried to make any sort of adjustments. Like I would love to like have
May was 2 months ago.
Yeah. Like kind of getting like a background to see like why this is happening and why there's that halt and why they haven't and I see this like all the time is like just be transparent, like explain why you're kind of holding this back, because you have so many people who have moved over to Stadia, and then now it's just like, oh well, Square Enix isn't releasing them. It might be something when it comes to Google, but we don't know that because there's no transparency. We have no idea what's happening on their end. And so I'm hoping to see in the upcoming weeks that they either get it fixed. I am happy to hear that people are getting those refunds because it's definitely not fair. When you have an expectation, when you buy those games, especially when you're looking at a $60
is not cheap for a lot of people.
Yeah, because in Canada that's $70. So you're buying like a $70 game for
I thought it was 80 for a game.
Well, if it's $60 Canadian, if it's $60 USD, you're looking at about $72 to $74 Canadian. Okay. Yeah, it's when it's like $69.99. That's when it jumps up to 80, and that's the same thing with all these other games that are coming out on the next gen. But it just doesn't. Something like this kind of like rubs me the wrong way. Is the best way to put it. I don't know. Square Enix, you've been making some questionable things. I know I'm currently enjoying
pick it.
They're games,
they're close. You just drive over to Montreal and just is there Square Enix in Halifax too or no?
I know Square Enix is not in Halifax. The only one here is Ubisoft.
Yes, I know Square Enix is Montreal is what they have, right?
I believe Square Enix Montreal is yes.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, Montreal.
Actually, I'm probably closer to Montreal than you are.
You certainly are.
I realize that now after I said it. But I'm not sure I can cross the border right now. Who even knows?
You cannot.
That's like, Ray Sherrod says he agrees with you completely with all your stuff you say. And then Igor Chaos, both of you guys are very active in chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and chatting with us as we talk about video games and Stadia. I think Stadia needs to be more adamant about parity with other platforms. I heard recently that Stadia won't be receiving the new Orcs Must Die 3 patch at the same time as PC. I know similarly with Wavebreak, a lot of the stuff features are not going to be available on Stadia that are available on PC. Some of that is Steam Workshop stuff, so that's understandable to a degree. But you even see, granted, they're a small studio, so I don't expect them to be like Bethesda, who's like, oh, Steam Workshop. Some of the Steam Workshop mods will be available in the other platforms. Like but they have a whole like game, like a level maker, that thing that I'm pretty sure is not available on Stadia, which is like sad because that's be a really cool feature to, especially with the share play stuff and like all that kind of the different Stadia specific features that are really cool. Not having that feature, that the whole feature, is kind of a bummer. Like honestly, it really is. So
agreed.
Yeah, just stinks. And unfortunately, we have a little bit more bad news. We'll sandwich with some positive stuff with the VSDM, with new stuff coming out. But this has been a sour subject for a lot of people I know, because F1 2021 is not coming to Stadia, which is one of the few non-returns from a game that is an annual release. We are getting Farm Simulator 2022 or the next one is. So I know you're really pumped about that.
Super am.
Yeah. But F1 2020 is currently offline. It's been updated. I think it's back now. But there was a time where users were reporting that F1 2020 was offline, giving this pop-up of reopen game to play, show details, and this little pop-up window, and it would just not go away apparently. So now apparently the update as of this is again a few days ago. So I don't know. It's a few days ago.
Yeah.
The British date threw me off real hard for a second. I'm like, oh wait, no, it is the day first, then the month.
The correct way, the day, month, year.
Like, do you really say the 9th of July?
Yeah.
That's weird. No, July 9th. That sounds way better.
You can say like
July.
I'm used to talking to Americans, so I usually say like July 9th. But yeah, the 9th of July.
That's just too much of a mouthful. But it's funny because Codemasters is owned by EA, if I'm not mistaken. Now they purchased Codemasters. But the game is indeed offline. Was indeed taken offline by Stadia. This was due to save corruption bug.
Oh.
The game's come back online and is working again, but only to those who had purchased the game previously. The game is not available to purchase on Stadia Store currently. So I'm not sure if it's still active. I have not checked.
It is
that's pretty crazy. It is?
Yeah, it is currently active.
Okay, so it is available now. So that is good to hear that it's still now available. But it's still crazy to have a save corruption bug where they literally took the game off the platform. Like, obviously, recently we have games like Cyberpunk 2077 were taken off the PlayStation Store and just came back. But there's still a big warning that, like, hey, this game is busted on your console.
Yeah.
But no, it's to see a whole game taken down because of a bug. It's pretty incredible. And this is the first time we've seen this, like, a save corruption bug on Stadia. I'm not sure what it is on the back end that causes this, but I know Final Fantasy 15 had a similar issue at launch, and it was like one of the games that had a few issues. I know the 2K basketball games had a lot of issues too.
Yeah.
But still crazy to see a whole game get taken down. Again, not much to like speculate on, just bad news.
just bad news overall, and hopefully we kind of see some. I don't know, like F1. I remember that they was one of the free games that we specifically had. I think it was April. Did we get it free in April, or did we get it free in May?
I think it was a free game. I forget which month but it was. But yeah,
either way, yeah. It's definitely sad to see that happen. But we are definitely still once again seeing more releases coming to Stadia, more than them like just not reoccurring, at least for now. But yeah, it's weird that they would have saving issues. I'm just gonna shake my head.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to. Okay. So, all the bad news out of the way. We got new stuff coming to Stadia. Some of them are out already. Some of them are coming up soon. I'm gonna start with one that's already out, which we already talked about a bunch. But just to confirm to everyone out there that Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is now on Stadia. This is again a little older, but if you have Ubisoft Plus, you instantly get that game added to your library, which is really awesome. It's actually still on sale again for. It was on sale when it launched originally. I think the Ultimate Edition was on sale, but even the base edition is on Pro for. It looks like 8. I think he added a way where you can change the units, but I haven't changed that setting yet. But for £8.5, so probably like $10 US. I forget the conversion rate at this point, maybe 15, probably 15 actually.
About 15, yeah.
Yeah, on US. So if you're a Rainbow Six Siege person, but also that $15, you can get Ubisoft Plus if you're not sure you want to play a game. Get Ubisoft Plus, get access to the whole library. Play a bunch of games. Games are fun. Games are cool, everyone. I'm probably gonna play on through Ubisoft Plus when I do. Hoping they add cross play.
Yeah.
Like cross party, I should say, with other platforms, because my buddy plays on PC and I won't be able to play with him, which would make me very, very sad. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a go. I'm usually not particularly a huge Rainbow Six player, mostly because even though I can play Overwatch, I know it's super weird. I get motion sick when I play Rainbow Six Siege, and every time I have played, I usually get yelled at by randoms because they're like, "You don't know what you're doing," and then I get shot in the head by one of my teammates, and then I get kicked out of the game. So I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. So I'll definitely try it. I'm hoping that it's I can play with some people that I like, because I know Lucas plays it. He doesn't play too often.
Well, let
me
know and I'll jump in and play with you.
Okay, I will make sure.
I'm not very good at shooters. I play a little bit of Valorant. It's like the closest to this I play. Yeah. I know actually Apex Legends has like a similar style game now, which I played and really enjoyed, but it's not the same kind of Twitch shooting. But Valorant I do play a little bit here and there with my friends who's a big Siege guy as well. So yeah, that's why. For one to play, let me know.
And I agree with Maker of Chaos. Yeah, that Rainbow Six Siege is definitely more geared towards a hardcore FPS crowd. I agree. Hardcore is a way to explain some of the players that I've specifically seen. But
I played a little bit on Luna. Like I said, I tried it and it was unplayable. But like, people were, because I think at this one time that it was added to to be available on Ubisoft Plus. But people were like commenting, "Oh, this person's new." Like, it's a like you're saying, "Oh, the person that's still alive has no idea how to play this game." Like they're like, "Oh, actually newcomers," because like, you can queue newcomer games.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure they're the Smurfs or not, but yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was an interesting experience. I only played like 2 games of it because it was running at 10 frames a second or something really choppy. It's really frustrating. So we also got another game I know you're probably really excited about, another East game, East 9.
Super pumped.
On Sternum, Nox, available now on Stadia. This is as of July 6th.
Woo!
The game was finally came out. Not much to say. It's a $60 game, I believe, and then there's the deluxe edition and ultimate edition, which I'm not sure. Digital ultimate. I'm not sure what the ultimate edition comes with necessarily, but it's available for all you JRPG fans and East fans. I liked the combat 8. I didn't go back honestly afterwards, but I was enjoying the gameplay. The story was just not for me at all. At least the story didn't bring me in. It was very generic JRPG. It felt like a very old game, older than it actually was. I think it was a 2016 game. It felt like it was like a 2010 game. There's a story-wise, so.
Yeah, I had a lot of people say that, like, oh, like, you just need to get past, like, the first area and then it'll get good. But I just haven't gone back since that particular point. I'm hoping, since it is my goodness, Ye 6 is not Ye 6, Ye's 8 is still it is free.
Is it still available, claimable on Pro? I think it is, right?
As far as I know, yes, it hasn't been removed yet.
Which makes sense because it's to like tie in with the release of this game.
Yeah, and it makes sense to kind of get people excited for just these like franchise in general, because they might just start bringing some of the other older ports over.
That'd be cool.
Which would be nice. Especially,
it still is. Yeah, it still is.
Because I think 8 and 9 are currently the only ones on Stadia, if I remember correctly. And obviously,
the Trails of Cold Steel 3, and I think 4 is coming out soon. I think that's when we got the most recent one, and we're going to get the sequel as well, I believe.
Yeah. So hopefully we could get to see some more of those. And I have been really excited to see that they're bringing a lot more JRPGs and get a different audience in, because I find that it's either very like at least over the past few months, it's become like the more like sports games I've seen come in, and then we see a lot of JRPGs. So trying to find that balance between different like groups and interests. And I know we talked about earlier, hoping to see a lot more like just indie devs come over as well, especially with the new options, because that would be really exciting, and I think that would grab a lot of people's interest, because I think that when it came to E3, indies just sold it. Like they completely stole it, compared to all you know
it
what?
was Xbox and then indies. I feel like it was like
that's all.
Even Xbox has some cool indies, but not showcase the thing. But like previous shows, they've had. Like I know everyone's really except for Death's Door. I think that's coming out this month on Xbox and Game Pass. I'm actually really bummed it's not going to be on xCloud, because I would probably sub to Ultimate just to play that game.
Yeah, no, I'm really just overall. It kind of gives me hope seeing some more of these games come over, that we might see some others that we may not have had options or available to us previously.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, we got some more new dates in general. We got Bloodstained as well, which is I'll bring up right now. This game was interesting because it launched at the wrong price, and then you see right here the update that was way too expensive. Like the game launched at $57.99 USD. I'm like, this is a weird price, because this game launched at $40 everywhere. You're on the Kickstarter. It was even cheaper on Kickstarter. I'm like, why the heck? This is so weird. I'm like, this has to be an error. And yeah, it's been corrected since then. So hopefully you didn't buy it before. Hopefully if you did buy it before, they corrected the price, or you can refund it and buy it again. I know I've done that before with a few games where I bought it and then realized, I didn't use my Google Play credit, so I needed to buy a little bit extra credit to then do it that way. So, but yes, that's $40 USD, 34.99 pounds. So yeah, I've been interested in Bloodstained. I heard it ran terrible on some console, specifically the Switch, and even base PS4. I know it has some issues. But it's apparently a very good like side-scrolling Metroidvania style game. Have you played Bloodstained, or have you played any of the Castle? Are you a big Metroidvania fan by any means?
Well, when it comes to like overall genre, like the overall style and just like the actual like storyline, it's definitely right up my alley. I haven't played them before, but I do plan on jumping into a lot more Metroidvanias later. It's for some reason, and this might sound very silly, is there are certain games that I think like I should play this during a specific season, and I'm thinking like Metroidvania kind of games seem like more like fall October-y kind of games, because you have like the creepy vampires and werewolves and all these other like creepy creatures, I guess. And I'm really wanting to jump into that particular type of genre. So when I remember seeing the original price, and I'm like, I'm just gonna scroll on by Bloodstained, but seeing it at a more reasonable price. I will definitely be jumping on this train, because I want to. I think it would be cool to see how this plays. I know they brought in a Shovel Knight element, which I've played a little bit of Shovel Knight. They have like a Shovel Knight, like I guess one of the as a playable character is from at least what I saw in the trailer. But yeah, will definitely want to be jumping into that. I love Castlevania. Like I said, I haven't played it myself, but the Netflix series is really good. So I want to definitely check out the games for sure.
Yeah. Just jumping in the chat, catching up with that. Maker of Chaos said Chris Tale and The Ascent are both coming to xCloud this month, and they're very excited about those. Because I mentioned about Death's Door. Chris Tale is also coming to Stadia. Obviously not with a subscription, but it is coming to Stadia. So if you want to pay a full price for the game and play on Stadia on all your screens, it's available there as well, which is pretty cool. He also mentioned that he busting the technical issues and is debating on picking up Luna just to try it out. I actually didn't even forgot it's on Luna. I still am subscribed to Luna, so I may try it there as well. I can't constantly forget I'm subscribed to Luna. I've used it a bunch in the first 2 months when I subscribed. I haven't used it since, so I need to go back and play some stuff on there. But of course, talking about Metroidvanias, the one game I am very excited about coming to Stadia. I've actually put aside money already on Stadia for this game, and it is Grime. Grime finally got a date. It was originally Stadia had actually originally released a video, a trailer saying, "Oh, it's coming July 19th," and they're like, "No, pull it down." Like we had posted an Stadia source. That's a we. Stadia source had posted an article. And it was like, oh, that because Stadia posted this video, so like, of course, we're going to post the article with a date. But no, apparently the game was obviously pushed for some reasons. Coming out to I want to say Stadia and PC.
Yes.
This game looks awesome. I'm gonna start watching this as we go through because they added another release date trailer, which I thought was awesome. And like it's a darker game than what I usually play.
Yeah.
But I just think the gameplay looks so cool and fluid. The combat looks so unique, and the ways you can attack problems, it just seems super unique and different than anything I've ever played. So
yeah,
I remember
about this? I am very interested to jump into it. I remember seeing this at the PC showcase at E3, and they had a very weird trailer, if I remember correctly. I was just very confused what the game was. And then all of a sudden at the end, they actually just showed the cover art, which is that kind of creature coming out of the depths. And then I was just like, oh, I know this game. It's coming to Stadia. This creature right here that we have on the screen right now, the one-eyed Cyclops kind of creature. And so I just remember being very confused seeing that trailer during the PC showcase. I don't remember what trailer it was, and I'll have to go back and look at it.
I'm not sure if it was this release date trailer.
I don't think it was that one.
Because this was posted on June 28th, so yeah, I don't think so.
No, they had a different trailer for sure, because I remember it looking a lot like odder is the best way to put it. But yeah,
the body horror. I'm not usually into. Granted, at the same time, my buddy really wants me to play. I forgot to get my board games in before, so I gotta get it in now. Kingdom Death Monster. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that board game.
Yep.
It's very body horror, this kind of stuff. There's lots of genitalia and stuff, and this dismemberment, and even the minis.
Yeah,
really gruesome stuff. And my buddy actually got them all painted, commissioned and painted. He's got a lot of money in his disposable income.
Yeah.
So he got them all painted. So I'm actually excited to play that board game with him. But it's not my typical vibe. But this game, I'm just super into. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm not a Metroidvania fan either, but this looks so good.
Yeah,
great guess. It looks really good.
All caps.
This floor by accident, but either way, you meant it now.
Absolutely. And I love the style of it. It almost has a claymation, and the lighting just looks absolutely great. And I think actually kind of goes hand in hand with our last conversation is just when it comes to Metroidvanias, it's not been a genre that I've tried before, but it's one that I kind of want to jump into and try out, because it's just something I've never really given a chance to, because I've always been told Metroidvanias can get you really irritated, or it can be something that stresses people out really easily. And I've always kind of steered away from something like that, but I also want to just jump into it just because going back to the kind of Castlevania, I've been looking up lore and stuff like that, and I'm really interested. And now seeing this, I will definitely be checking this out on August 2nd. I wasn't at first I wasn't particularly too excited, but kind of seeing that trailer and looking into it more and more, I definitely want to check this out and see how it goes.
Yeah, of the Stadia Maker games, this is what I was probably most excited about. This, and there's a few other ones as well that Game Boy Color style RPG was really cool looking. With that woman that's the cover art, with the curly hair. That looks really cool. And there's a few I know they posted some new trailer stuff for I think Death Carnival, which was a twin stick shooter in the same vein of Alien Nation or Dead Nation, which is all Housemarque games.
Yeah.
But that same kind of style of game, which I like those games very much. So Those were my 3 that I was most excited about from the Makers program. And this is, I usually don't do game updates, but this is like getting a new version completely. So I really enjoyed this game. I need to go back and play it more. Is Just Shapes and Beats is getting the Lost Chapter. It's essentially DLC, but it's a new version that would be free for people that purchased the game previously. Really unique, like rhythm-based, like it's just kind of survival. It's really a survival game where you're trying to survive through the whole level to like, beat the bosses and whatnot. But like it all based on a song, and I really enjoyed. I'm not sure. Did you ever play Sound Shapes?
No, I did not.
It's a game I recommend to every single human being. I think it pops in my head at the time, but it is it's a very different game, but like similar kind of like use of music to a game in terms of like making the game world kind of change a little bit to the music. Like in Sound Shape, you're like platformer and you're collecting different bubbles, and as you collect bubbles, the sound is added to the game. Okay. And it's also all like the sounds are all based on where they're on the map too, because you can make your own levels. And a whole like level creation system, which is really cool. I made a few levels, and that was really awesome. But like the sound would stay for like the previous 4 panels.
Okay.
So like, you would layer differently as you went through the game. Like you would a loop would stay on, and then you go to another panel. Like that one loop would drop off, and you would add another loop. And how the song would develop was really cool. This is very much more like a rhythm game where you're just kind of surviving, but like it's just a cool way of like introducing just like really dope music that I probably wouldn't usually be into, but like it's just a really well implemented game. Like this is one of the first bosses you go against here on the screen if you're watching live or the video version. But yeah, I just think it's really a underrated game, and I recommend Just Shapes and Beats. It was a pro game. I don't think it's claimable anymore for a while now, but I'm not sure if you've been claiming all your games through
I have
the past.
been.
You probably have this game. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. It actually plays decently well on your phone with touch controls because it's a pretty simple game. It's a little tough at times, but like you can get through some levels with that. It's mostly just move around and dashing. That's like all you can do.
Yeah. I see a little whale here. It's like a raindrop that kind of looks like a whale mostly because the shapes are the way that they're at least. Yeah, it's on one of the let me just see here. I think it's what I clicked on it. 1 second. Oh, I clicked to go to game. If you scroll down, it says go to game. And then I saw one. Yeah. But no, I'll definitely be checking this one out. I'm not particularly good at rhythm games.
It's not a rhythm game. It's not like you're like
it?
It's not. It's a rhythm game, but it's not. Like it's really just like the enemies attack you like or do different actions to the beat of the game as you try to avoid those things projectiles coming at your little little boy. The little like you're so little like I'm not sure where you're supposed to be. See, there's a little screenshot of what your little like there's a little circle.
Okay.
It's like the world map. Oh, you're just a little square. You're a little square. You're a little square. And that's all it is. Like you're just a square that you just can just shoot around, and you have like you can only take so much damage. And there's a good point of save points where like it'll like rewind you back to that part of the song. And if you die so many times in that before you get to the next checkpoint, it's game over. So it's really well done. I think it's a really cute game. It's a good little like filler game. And wait, there's co-op? I did not realize there's co-op in this game. Interesting.
Okay.
Well, it's also just a really beautiful game too. Like the art style is just really, really cute and really, really fun. So.
No, I like I'm looking at a trailer for it right now, and it definitely looks really cute. And yeah, it looks like it's up to 4 players.
There's no video here, unfortunately. So yeah, I like the art style. It's a fun game. I need to go back to that game because I thought it was really, really well done.
And definitely looks like a kind of like something that you would see on a mobile kind of variant. And nice. No, I'll definitely be checking that one out. Yeah, no, it was like apparently it is a blimp that I was looking at, not a whale. It's just like this kind of like like raindrop, like
Same difference.
horizontal one with like 2 triangles at the end. That's what I saw. It's one of those pictures that is just like, what do you see? And I see a whale. So, but no, I will. My God, I know I keep on saying I'll definitely need to check that out, but that's what I kind of love about Stadia is just having the access and like having these games on Pro that I don't even have to worry about it, that I can just jump in at any time and be like, okay, I'll just try this out for a little bit. So no, I'll definitely, I'm actually really excited to try out this one because the music's actually really good too.
The music's really, really good. If you like ED, like I'm not a big EDM fan, but like it got me hooked in. Like some songs like really have a good hook to them.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely recommend it, even just the music alone. And there's like notable like artists on there too. Like there's like actual artists that they've gotten on that game. So it's pretty cool. Now we have some rumor mill stuff. Some games rated by ESRB. We got a Transformers game, this game I've never heard of. A game originally released in 2020. So the fact that I haven't heard about it is making me less excited about it. But it's Transformers, so let's see what this game is like. Interesting, isometric.
And it's a Hasbro game.
Oh, then yeah, it's gonna be more like that's okay. That's a little that's where I figured. Yeah, the art style's very cartoony, probably based on the cartoon series, which is Hasbro trying to make that money. But it's like a little isometric beat 'em up game. Coasting has done a bunch of Stadia games, so that makes sense that they would be bringing that game to there. That's of course we got Phil Spencer on the screen there now, but Coasting is the developer. They've done a bunch of games on Stadia. So, I mean, hey, I love Transformers. I'm not up to date on the current run of the cartoon, obviously.
Neither am I.
One of my favorite games is like one of the Transformer games on PS2, where you could add all these like mini cons to yourself, like which that was up to date with the current anime or current anime show that was being shown on. Anime is all cartoons. SpongeBob is anime in Japan. But yeah, it was I've always enjoyed Transformers growing up, so it's cool to see that game come to Stadia. And again, we're seeing more kid-focused games coming to Stadia.
We are.
Like a lot of games, like we had the Spirit one a few times ago, where I talked about getting wet with Shrek, the DreamWorks movie. I mean, we got lots of kid-based games, and we actually even have one more kids-based game that's apparently coming to Stadia, and I feel like this one was like already like leaked at some point. But we got, and this is big for me as a parent right now because my daughter is discovering Paw Patrol for better or worse, and we're getting a Paw Patrol the movie Adventure City Calls rated by Stadia by the USX, which I don't even know what that means.
I lost.
Where is the US? Oh, that is all like German. It looks German or some sort of Nordic.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a USX. .de. So Denmark. I think it's Denmark then.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait. Sorry. German rating site website. Sorry, I can read. I went right to the .de. I guess Deutschland. Then there you go.
There you go.
There we go. We cracked the puzzle.
Figured it out.
It was German, in fact. But yeah, Paw Patrol. My daughter, we bought her a Paw Patrol toy recently because we went to Target for the first time with her, and actually got her let her pick out her toys, and she kept saying Paw Patrol, and we bought her this little bath toy. So it swims in the water, has a little float. So yeah, my nieces love Paw Patrol too. So yeah, and again, this is a thing where if you have a Chromecast with Google TV, and your kid's watching Paw Patrol, and you get, hey, Paw Patrol the movie. They just watched Paw Patrol the movie. Now they play the game based on the movie, and it's like, hey, this is for you. Yeah. And yeah, they're adding more ways again with them pushing with the different TV platforms now, and if they're going to integrate it like this.
Yeah.
These are games that they want or they need to get the kids into the platform. The kids that aren't on social media, the kids that are too young to be on social media. Be like, Stadia is trash.
Yeah.
It's a dead platform. No, it's literally that's what this is really. I think that might be their actual push at this point.
Yeah, that would probably be their best bet, is having something like this come up, because for someone who does not have a kid, for some reason Paw Patrol keeps on popping up everywhere for me.
It's a thing.
It's a massive thing. Like, even some YouTubers that I've been watching for nearly a decade who now have kids are talking about how like their kids are obsessed with Paw Patrol. And they didn't even know about it until 3 weeks ago, when they bought the only kids DVD that they found at Walmart, which was Paw Patrol.
Oh,
and
these toys are ridiculous. Like, there's so many times where we would be trying to find toys for my nieces who are like super into Paw Patrol. They're 4 and 5 now. But yeah, they're trying to find the toys for them. Like, it's impossible. Like, my brother-in-law went to like multiple different stores to try to find like the specific ones they wanted.
It's absolutely nuts. And even to a point where like one of my neighbors, they have one of those like blow up things at Christmas time, like one of those like,
oh good God,
and it's
no.
literally a Christmas Paw Patrol character, like the main I don't know their names, but the policeman.
Oh, that's Chase.
Okay, so they have like a
There's
large
Chase, Marshall, Rubble, and Sky. Yeah. Those are the 4 I know.
It's a 6 foot tall Chase that is like a Christmas, like one of those blow up things. Yeah, it like during the day it's completely flat. At night he like lights up, and like it's one of those things where it's made out of a cloth and it blows it up to look like Chase. It's like an air machine that it's almost like a I'm so bad at explaining what this is. I am so sorry. I'm really bad with words sometimes. But yeah, it's
just an audio platform. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Trust me, I stumble over myself all the time.
So no, I agree that this would make so much sense, because then you have the parents who are like, I need to get some time to myself. I want to get something that's family friendly or like kid friendly for my kids, and just having the ability to just say like, okay, you can have some, like, I see there's a Paw Patrol game. My kid might not know about this because everyone associates Paw Patrol with like the figurines and the toys and the TV show. Now they have some games that I feel like Stadia might be more family friendly when it comes to like not having to worry about like outside factors.
Yeah.
And it's very straightforward, very easy to use. You don't have to download anything. So I think this is a great way for them to take this opportunity to kind of show Spirit, because Spirit's a TV show right now. They have the Spirit game, they have this, and now they have Paw Patrol. Is it weird that we're talking about this as being really good for like a family specific like console? But honestly, it is.
I think it's really like we're like Stadia really is built more for the family than it is for the hardcore gamer. I mean, I think it's easier to port these smaller games. I feel like I'm not sure saying it's easier, but like it seems like you're getting more of these. You get again I saw actually on the Kind of Funny group, someone posted the top 10 things on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
And one of the top 10 was Cocomelon, which is a kids show.
Correct,
which makes absolute sense. If you look at any like the kids YouTube stuff, like Baby Shark has millions of views.
Oh, it's billions.
And that's not even an audio service; it's a video service. Like, imagine how much it gets on audio stuff too. So like these kids networks are massive. They really are, and it's incredible. I'm not sure if I maybe said it wrong, but is it Cocomelon? I'm not sure it's Coco. Yeah. My daughter now calls watermelon Cocomelon, and it's very funny. No, it's watermelon. You know water. You know the word melon. It's a watermelon. Cocomelon. No, it's not.
It's not Cocomelon. It's not Cocomelon. It's not. But no, I think this is a great option. I know, like, I can't specifically say offhand because I'm not a parent, but as someone who has worked with kids before as a camp counselor, I think this is a good option. Like, I'd rather have this show up than like Dead by Daylight. Like, if you have a kid watching, or if you have like a kid specific, like, okay, Timmy, let's get you on your profile, and they see like Adventure City Calls, Paw Patrol. I'd rather them see that than something gory. Or like, I know a lot of these, even with these streaming service, they might see like Love Island or like Too Hot to Handle. I'd rather my kids see this than that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
no, I think I think it's with them moving with the TV stuff. I think it actually makes the most sense because kids TV stuff is more massive than people think it is.
Yeah,
it's because as a parent, sometimes you just want like a half hour to yourself, and it stinks. I literally hate every time I do it. I'm like, well, I just need to wake up in the morning. Let's watch Elmo. Let's watch like Daniel Tiger, and they have a Daniel Tiger game. And my kid's old enough to play games at that point, and then like, hey, it's a nice little like interactive thing where I can play with them even. Like, and it's still and not just put them in front of the TV. I can put them in front of the TV and actually still interact with my kids. So
and honestly, we're still locked. Well, technically, we're still locked in a pandemic.
Yeah.
And I would like. I know when I was growing up, we had a lot of like educational games, like Clue Finders and stuff like that. And if they had like more educational games, I would rather the kid be like, hey, I want to play something educational, because it gets them more hands-on. Yeah, watching this is great, but like kind of getting them to think about their decisions and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool to see that. You can take my ideas, Google, and run with it. But I'm interested to see how this plays through, especially with Spirit and having this now on there, and just having more kid-friendly games. Doesn't need to be like associated to like adults or even just like preteens. Having some like kid games, because parents need to have a break, and even just having options to play. Like, if this is a multiplayer game, like a couch co-op, that's even better.
Probably.
Frank.
Probably game of the year. That was really funny.
What a guy!
Yeah, what a guy, Frank. Thanks for stopping in. But yeah, I find it funny that before we start this episode, it's not like a ton that we have to talk about. It should be a pretty quick episode, and then we're an hour 50 minutes in. Probably one of the longest episodes we've had.
Yeah.
So good job for us.
This is what happens when Aaron's not here, and we just get to talk.
Round me up. Just random. I didn't even talk that much about board games. I was going to say like, hey, like, well, we have this huge wall of board games behind us.
Yeah.
And with you, and I actually played some board games recently too. I meant to say that I had to play the game Here to Slay with some friends in real life, which is really cool. Finally playing I had people over on 4th of July.
Tomorrow, my friend, he bought the big box terraforming
Yeah,
Mars
my buddy got that too.
With all the figurines. Yeah, he's coming over. He's coming over to our house tomorrow, like our apartment, and he's bringing everything over.
Awesome.
And we have the gaming table like you do, so we're just gonna be sitting at our like kitchen, because this originally, like, I know the last time you guys saw the setup, there was a sofa here. This is actually not just 2 shelves. There's 4 shelves just full of board games.
Beforehand.
It is absolutely crazy, and there's so many different options, and I think I have like 6 video game board games, if I remember off the top of my head.
I have one. I have the Portal game.
That's
actually fun. That's actually a good game.
I don't have the Portal game.
Yeah, I bought it sight unseen at Comic-Con.
Nice.
Yeah. It's the uncooperative cake acquisition game.
Damn. What?
It's fun. It's not like phenomenal, but it's a fun game. It's like you're trying to get to like the most pieces of cake. Essentially, like to say it, but like Gladys is constantly moving around, and there's portals you can warp between. Yeah, it's really cool. It's fun. It's fun. That's the thing. The only that and like it's IP based. I have like Lord of the Rings Risk. That's like the only thing I have, which is my favorite version of Risk.
Yeah.
But I also played Here to Slay, and I played there's actually a video you can watch me teach and play Lost Ruins of Arnak on TTS with Ivy Games. So if you look for Ivy Games or Ivy Plays, they have our Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is like my current favorite game right now. I absolutely love that game. If you like deck building and worker placement, and
I do.
It just blends those together perfectly. If you like that as well, I recommend looking at Dune Imperium and a game coming out. It's on Kickstarter, coming out probably at this point next year with all the delays. Endless Winter. is another game that does that kind of similar.
Yeah.
Arnac's probably the most digestible. I think it's pretty easy to teach, and it also has some complex. Like there's still different ways to do it. I think when we played, two of us had played a bunch. I played a bunch. The other person hadn't played at all, and it was the winner was had 64 points, and the lowest person had 60 points. It was very close. Like really fun game. Really recommend it.
Yeah.
Any board games you've been playing besides Terraforming Mars?
I have not. Should I have been playing more board games? Yes. But we have recently moved everything around, and we just cleared off our table and everything because we literally moved our entire apartment around, and that's why all the board games are now in here with me.
Well, you talked about moving everything in here at one point, like moving some stuff around. So
yeah, exactly. So that was like we had planned to do this for a while, and then this was moved last week, and so we definitely do plan on playing some more games. Lucas just bought one. Where the hell is it? I'm trying to remember where it is. I will remember.
We can talk afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. We got a new board game. Have to play some.
Cool,
but yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, where can we find you besides here? And
you can
and right there.
And right here. Here. You can find me on Point in Progress every Friday. We have been posting them on YouTube, but for the most part, we have actually been live recording as well, just like we do here. And we just talk about things that we really enjoy, gaming wise, nerd wise, and sometimes we talk about anime, which I've gotten back into recently, which is another reason. Wow. Okay. So, woo! I'm just joking. No. So you can listen to us over there at twitch.tv/pointinprogress, or you can check us out on YouTube. I actually talked about Stadia last week. Because I talked about all the free games coming to different services, including Stadia, which was the key kind of just inspiration for that segment. And yeah, you guys can check me out over there and on our YouTube. And also Final Fantasy. We're on Anime and Toys.
We went through that whole in the beginning, so
yeah.
Me, it's this right here. You can find me there, and usually at our at Speak of Stadia, Speak of Stadia, on Twitter. So that's where, it's actually in another corner below, Fiona. That's it for episode 27. This is arguably our longest episode, probably. I think absolutely is our longest episode.
Correct.
We're covering 3 weeks of news, but I also thought it'd be a lot quicker than this. But we talked a lot about. I mean, we went on pretty long about the big stuff, which is good. I mean, we had a lot to talk about, more than I thought we were, so it's not a bad thing. But thank you for sticking around for the whole thing. Those that stuck around, if you either use watching us in the background, or Ray was awesome. Thank you for the awesome job. I mean,
thank you.
Hope you did well in Siege tonight, Ray. And thanks for hope to see you next. I think we're gonna be. I'm not sure we're gonna do next week or do 2 weeks from now yet. Follow us on Twitter and you can keep up with that stuff. Also, if you follow us on I should have meant to open with this. If you follow us on the podcast, I'm behind on an episode. I keep forgetting to post it because I've been really busy. And kind of got a little delayed on the editing of that. So hopefully it'll be posted. It's gonna be last week's episode, and then we'll have this one shortly after. So again, thanks and peace.